Welcome back to class number 15 of the How to Become a Psychic Medium series. A series in which I will guarantee each and every one of you, if you watch these videos from the start to the finish and you absorb the content within, I will make you a medium. Not just a medium, a great medium. But if you are that 1% of people out there who know that you have issues with your mediumship, yet you fail to acknowledge them or you fail to watch these videos when they are there to help you, unfortunately, I can't help you. You need to be able to help yourself. Watch these videos from the start to the finish and absorb the content within. I say it on every video. I don't know what we're about to talk about. I get told a topic and then I jump in front of the camera, then we'll roll with whatever spirit wants. Therefore, I can't guarantee what is going to be in this video. That's why you'll never see us put timestamps where because at the end of the day, this isn't like a scripted video like most people have scripted videos where they just talk about specific topics. This will be one topic and it'll have multiple facets to it. Like mediumship itself. Mediumship just isn't a one glove fits all. It's going to be, for each and every one of you, it's going to be very specific. There's going to be very specific things that we need to target. There's going to be very specific things that you have going on within your mediumship, which is not allowing you to connect to the energy realm. That being said, if you are new to the channel, my name is Psychic Medium Jordan Corbin, and I can prove with evidence of the afterlife. I've helped thousands of people already on this earth plane to once again be able to reach out and contact their loved ones in spirit from the understandings and the teachings, and guess what? Now it's your turn. Each and every one of you can become great mediums, and here at Help Heal Serve, we can give you the very foundations to forge your own unique understanding. Not to mention, we have the loving and supporting Help Heal Serve family. Also, thank you to each and every one of the channel members who's absolutely slaying it. It means a lot to us. Thank you to everyone who subscribes to the channel, and thank you to everyone just presses that little like button. It takes a second of your time, but it helps the channel and the message to grow. In this episode, we're going to be tackling the topic of claircognizance. A lot of you, at the sound of such a thing as claircognizance, is going to be laughable, in some cases unbelievable. What you've got to understand, it's like clairvoyance. I think it was the previous video we do, if my memory serves us correctly. Clairvoyance, where you actually see the spirit world. Well, claircognizance is the polar opposite to seeing with the visual representation with your eyes. However, you will still see the spirit world using claircognizance. And in this video, I'm going to do some exercises. We're going to talk about the difference between claircognizance, what it is in comparison to clairvoyance, give you a couple of explanations, give you some of my experiences and what you can expect to happen. Let's get straight out of the gate with it. Claircognizance is the ability of clear known. It's a lot of you would have had intuitive thoughts, and in most scenarios, those thoughts were just a thing. You might be watching this video now, and remember to let me know down in the comments if you've experienced this. But you might have been somebody who's had a friend, and that friend, you just knew something was wrong. You knew that their relationship was going to end in a bad way. You knew without even speaking to them that something was wrong in their world. This, my friends, is no coincidence, or coincidence, I should say. It is using your claircognizant abilities. You know something. It's not a if or a but. It's a certainty. Without having any tangible, reasoning for it, you've been given this information. Let us give you a little bit of an example to those of you who are finding it a little bit difficult to comprehend that you are capable or you have these abilities within you. Let's just take a basic example of me talking to you now. As I'm talking to you now, you, through the power of the internet, through the power of this microphone, through the power of the camera, you are gaining information from me. Yes, it's verbal, and yes, there's lots of movement through the camera. But you are decoding that information through your ears, and you are then perceiving it in whatever way you do. Some of you might watch this video and go, he knows what he's talking about. Some of you might watch this and go, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And that comes down to your understanding, the way that you have been conditioned. Many people who find this channel, they go, oh, I don't like that. And that's because we don't conform. We don't fit the normal narrative of mankind. Fun fact, the reason why we don't fit the normal narrative of mankind is because it is set to fail. It's always been set to fail. It's a cash-making scheme. It's a money-making scheme. It's never, ever going to be there to help the everyday person. It's there to help individuals who want to be either deceitful. In some cases, some people do want to genuinely help. However, along the way, they lose sight of what's really important, helping the everyday person to be able to help themselves. That is what is important here. Giving people information, yes, is one thing, but giving people the tools to get their own information is a completely another. That's the narrative that I take. And whilst not a lot of people like that or think that's a good idea, I don't do this for the money. I do it because I enjoy doing it. I do it because it's a passion. It's what I love to do. It's what I was born to be. This is my life purpose, to help the everyday person. Therefore, coming back over to claircognizance, in the example that I'm given, each and every one of you are decoding this information that I'm giving you, and you are perceiving it in your materialistic world to whatever you want. It's no different. In fact, let's give you another scenario. What I would like you to do now, each and every one of you, is to imagine a white ball. Close your eyes if it's safe to do so. I mean, you shouldn't really be watching me for doing anything that takes your undivided attention if you're driving a motor vehicle or you're operating heavy machinery or you're doing anything along them lines. But if you aren't doing any of them, then do this. Close your eyes. All I would like you to do now is to imagine a white room. And within the white room, we are going to have a black ball. This ball is just bouncing off the floor. Every time it hits, it thumps. You can hear a twang. There's a certain specific sound to it. And then the ball comes back up, and then once again, it's going back down. And as you can see, in your mind's eye, that ball is now bouncing. You see to the very far side of the room, a door opens. And as that door opens, you are going to hear sounds filtering into the room from somewhere that somewhere that feels very familiar, but you haven't been there for a long time. My friends, what you've just done there is that door that was opening was the spirit world. You've just literally had a glimpse into it. That is how simple and how easy it is to connect to the spirit world. Using that example there, and by me giving you words for you to then decipher through your known abilities, through vision, through sound, audio waves, you there have used claircognizance. This is the same, it's your imagination in that respect, Spirit are saying. What you've just done there is use your imagination based on information given from an individual in the materialistic. However, when it comes over to using your claircognizant abilities, it's the exact same, but take away the human person and replace it with energy. That's why a lot of you now will be going, oh, well, actually, yeah, that seems a lot more believable because hang on a minute, I've just literally done it there with Jordan speaking. Therefore, if we remove Jordan from the equation and we replace the human form with energy, then it seems a lot more believable. This, my friends, is claircognizance. The deep knowing that we are speaking about. A lot of the times when we're using claircognizance, for a lot of people, in the first instance, you're going to write it off as being none other than just a weird coincidence. Then it'll probably happen again. Because if you are somebody who is using claircognizance, it's going to become very prevalent in your everyday. And why wouldn't it? It's not because you're gifted. It's not because you're special. It's because, very simple, you are using your humanistic abilities, which is good. A lot of you don't realize you're even using them. And this is why, when you do initially use claircognizance, you will suppress it. To those of you who are using it and you don't know how you're doing it, that's awesome. The fact that you are having these experiences proves that you are already using claircognizance. It's about understanding what it is to be able to harness it to aid yourself. Because we can use it on demand. We can use these senses in a heightened state to aid us in our everyday life. That's the purpose of having them. You know, it's the exact purpose of having them. All I'm doing is I'm helping you to use them in a mediumistic setting. That's the difference. I'm giving you the understandings and ideologies to be able to use them in mediumship. But as a person, as a human being, you are already using your extrasensory perceptions. It doesn't just have to be for mediumship. You're going to be using them in your everyday life. For example, you go to a job interview, you walk into the place, and all of a sudden you get this horrible feeling that you don't want to work there. You turn down the job offer, your friend takes it, your friend absolutely hates it. They say it, they despise it, they're sick of their lives. Whoa, it was like something was watching over you in those moments. No, there was nothing watching over you. You, in those moments, use your claircognizant abilities. Let's have another one. You go on a first date with someone. You go to meet them and they'll come across as being a lovely person. And then there's just something not right about them. They look perfect, they sound perfect, they're giving off all of the good traits, but there's something that you can't put your finger on. There's something that is just telling you, look, stay away from this person. You then find out a couple of weeks later, you ended up turning them down, you didn't see them again, you turn out later, you put your TV on, you see them in the news in the bloody serial killer, something like that. I know that's a bit of an extreme example, but there will be people out there who this has happened to. And in the first instance, the natural instinct of a human being is to think, well, that's a coincidence. But how many times does it have to happen before you think, well, actually, hang on, maybe it's not a coincidence. Maybe this is something that I am doing, that I am using, but mankind have told me I shouldn't be. And this is why I'm having it in a dilemma, in a conflict. Going to have a little drink there, because that got a little bit mental, didn't it? Spirit were coming through there, and they were... Let me know down in the comment section, all right, if you've had any of these experiences. Let me know as balmy as they are. Let me know how sad they are. Let people all around the world see how normal this is. I guarantee each and every one of you, there is a large proportion of people out there who use claircognizance on a daily basis and they don't even know they're using it. They are scared to tell people they're using it because they don't want to look crazy. They don't want to look insane. We've already crossed that bridge. We don't care about what people think of us. We don't care about how the world perceives us. We're not here to fit in. We're not here to conform. We are here to set the standards. Let's make this an everyday, let the everyday person know how normal this actually is. We went through a little bit of an example of how each and every one of you can use claircognizance. Now, that was for a human being. That was me telling you information and you using your imagination to decode that. But when it comes to spirit are going to give you energy. Yes, you might not be looking at me. You might not hear my voice. But you are going to see, you're going to hear spirit. You're going to see spirit. I'll give you a little bit of a fun one for me. A lot of the times I see people dead. Well, I see people dead all of the time. But what I mean by that is before somebody passes over, I will see them. And it's pretty bizarre, if I'm honest with you, because it's not clairvoyance. A lot of you are going to think, well, Jordan, if you're talking about seeing them with the eyes, then that's clearly clairvoyance. But it's not clairvoyance. Because clairvoyance is a manifestation within the materialistic, which is perceived by the eyes. It's perceived by your eyeballs. However, the changes that I see are using claircognizance. And what will happen is I'll look at a normal person, and it's happened to us 4 times now, on 4 occasions. And on every occasion when this has happened, the day after, the person has passed away. So, like, it's kind of, the first time it happened to me, I'm not going to lie or beat around the bush. The first time it happened to me, I was like, well, that was freaky, a bit weird. And then the person died, and I was like, well, it could have been me mind. Maybe it was just kind of spirit telling us, and I didn't quite understand it at the time. But then it happened the second time, and I went, hang on a minute, I don't work with coincidences. There's something to this. Like, this is mental, this is wicked. But what will happen in my cases is I will just look at a normal human being, and I will see the person's face on that human being. I'm not using clairvoyance, because clairvoyance would be the full apparition form, and it would be spirit seeing into the spirit world. However, what will happen is I will see faces on individuals, just random people. And I'll look at the person and I'll recognize them and I'll go, oh, and they'll be looking at us, staring at us. And even though that person isn't looking at me and isn't even having anything to do with me, the spirit effectively takes form it's weird, it's hard to explain, but it's not clairvoyance, because clairvoyance would imply that I am seeing the spirit world. However, I am seeing the spirit world, but not in the physical sense. I'm seeing it in a mental sense, which is mental, all of the same, isn't it? But I'll see the face and they'll just look at us. And that's in those moments, I know that that person who I've just seen is going to be passing over within the next day. And literally now it's happened 4 times, like literally bang on. And it's just like, that's mint. That's fascinating. For me, right, it's fascinating the way that the brain works. It's fascinating. I love every aspect of mediumship. I love the paranormal side of it more. Like, I love mediumship. But my baby, my beauty, my desire is working in paranormal. I love showing people what the spirit world can do. I love getting things thrown. I'm like a kid in a candy shop. And for those of you who don't know, we've got a paranormal section on this channel. So make sure you go and check out the paranormal playlist, because we will be doing a lot more of the paranormal sense. This channel isn't just for mediumship. It's there to educate the populace on what the spirit world, what the realms are, how to work with them safely, efficiently. And when I say safely, I don't mean it in a sense of you'll see all of these people who are trying to sell you lotions and potions. Listen, you have to protect from poor understandings and bad teachings. A good understanding supersedes the notion of protection. Fun fact, not so much fun, but it's a fact. You can't protect from the spirit world anyway. It's energy. How can you protect from an unseen foe? If the spirit world or the realms wanted us gone, believe me, it would have already happened. It holds them no value, they want what is best for you. They're like your best friends in this life. There's loads of people who come to my channel, right, and they're like, oh, I'm working with spirits and there's some naughty ones. It's like, no, there's not naughty ones. Like, what on earth? What have you watched? Who have you listened to? What are you basing this information on that there are naughty ones? Because I can guarantee you that's not of spirit. That's your own imagination playing tricks on you. Oh, well, I've got this prankster spirit who's doing this and doing... No, you haven't got a prankster spirit. You, through your own lack of understanding and naivety, believe that there are such things as trickster spirits. Spirit world are a world of intelligence. They don't need to trick you. The spirit world, yes, may do things in a certain respect that you may think that they are tricking you. But again, that's on you. That's not on spirit. They are intelligence. They are a world of intelligence. So believe me when I say that. If they are doing something, they are doing it because for the effect. They want you to see something. It's evidence every step of the way. But yeah, I mean, I don't mean any of the offence, right, who believe in the concept and ideology of evil spirits, but it's man-made. It's literally man-made. We believe, because we live in the materialistic plane, that if there's good, then there must be bad. If there's the light, there must be darkness. There must be sorrow, there must be happiness. You know, we've got all of the polar opposites. We've got all of the different... The problem is what you've got to understand with that notion is that is mankind's world. It's the materialistic plane to which we coexist. With the spirit world, it's not their world. What makes a human evil? What makes a human bad? What makes a human intolerable? It's the brain. It's the mind. You don't have that in the spirit, so stop liking in the spirit world. The second somebody says to me they've got evil spirits or they've got prankster spirits who are playing tricks on them, immediately I'm like, whatever. Like, seriously, there's other channels for you. Like, we have a good understanding. We don't need that sort of nonsense on you. We've got enough of a fight on our hands to educate the populace because of the misunderstandings and misconceptions of mankind. Never mind welcome them their ludicrous notions because somebody thinks that they've got a hex on them. Listen, hexes, voodoo, all of these different things, it's all man-made. It's literally there to incite fear into you. You can control, fun fact, right? If none of you didn't know this, you can control and manipulate people with fear. Why do you think it still happens in this day and age? When people are suppressed, they can't become strong. They can't learn for themselves. They can't... I've got to be very careful with the words that I choose on, yeah, right? Because we're going to... But in case anyone doesn't like the fact that I've said that about voodoo or any of these different things, listen, I can mark my words. We'll be doing full videos on this, explanation videos. I'm not making this into an explanation video. I'm just giving a couple of different points of view for what I'm trying to explain. There will be full educational videos of why it's just all the power of suggestion. But the main thing to remember is right, you never need to protect from the spirit world. You have to protect from poor understandings and bad teachings. Coming back over to the claircognizance. It's one of those things, right? as well, I'll tell you another little story. When I was using crystal balls, now I use crystal balls, I use pendulums, I use all these different forms of divination. And why wouldn't I? It's just like, if you have tools to use, then bloody use them. That's literally what they're for. I don't get it when some people say, oh, I don't use crystal balls. I just, well, why don't you? Like, seriously, like, it's like, I really can't comprehend it. Sometimes the logic of some people and the kind of stance that they take on certain aspects of mediumship, I really don't understand. But when it comes into using crystal balls, for those of you who don't know, I've got two massive ones. Let's see if I can get them. Sorry, everyone, you got like a proper close-up of my face there. Right. Hopefully the sound's a little bit better. You'll see I've got a bit of a bigger microphone. Wind shield there now. This is one of my crystal balls. I've then got Scarlet. Oh, I'm sorry, Scarlet. Let's get you on camera. She was not happy there, like. Wasn't happy. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm giving me items name, it's because I appreciate them. It's because it's like anything in this life, right? It's even my car's got a name and stuff. It's Snowy, the white car, so we called it Snowy. It's a fun thing. It's kind of a way, and whilst I'm not saying I communicate with my car, that's for a different channel. What I'm saying is by giving your items names, it helps you to build a more personal bond with the item. And if you do it in every aspect of your life as a person, it becomes much more fluent in mediumship or when you're using these items. Scarlet. I've seen many things with Scarlet. Like, seriously, absolutely unreal things. And in this beastie, this was my first ever crystal ball. I mean, look at the size of it, man. I thought at the time when I got it right, I was like, oh, this is classist. Look at the size of it. It looked mint. I soon realised that, unfortunately, having a big crystal ball, especially when you're mobile a lot and you're carrying it around places, it's not ideal at all. That's why I went and got Scarlet. But the point that I'm trying to make is with the bigger ball, when I first got it, I was kind of in every step of the way, I've always resisted. I'm that sort of person. Listen, I don't just do things on a whim. I don't just say things if I don't believe it. I don't just do things until I know 100% that it is accurate what I'm saying. In the spirit world, what's telling us, look, get a crystal ball. And I was like, nope. And they were like, get a crystal ball. And I was like, nope. And they were like, Jordan, you need to get a crystal ball. We need to show you something. And I was like, nope, not interested. And it just so happened one day I was walking past a crystal ball shop. It wasn't actually a crystal ball shop, Spirit or saying. It was more a spiritual shop. And within the spiritual shop, we had many different varieties of divination tools. When I walked in, I had no intentions of looking for a crystal ball at all. And when I got to the door, I was kind of led and ushered. For those of you who've heard the pendulum story, when I first got my first pendulum, it's a very similar story to that. Wasn't looking for a pendulum, hadn't even been in the store before, walked straight into the shop, straight to the pendulum section. Kind of the same story with the crystal ball, to be fair. I was just led straight to the crystal ball. And I was looking at it, and it was like £140 or something like that. And I was like, I'm not getting it. And they were like, you need to get it. Like, we're going to show you something. It's going to be amazing. And I, oh, okay, I went. So I gets it. Took it back to work, actually. I can see this now because I don't work there. Took it back to work. I'd done like a little meditation on my dinner time, obviously. I wouldn't be doing it just through the working day. But I always remember, for those of you who've never seen a war movie or you've never seen... I always remember I told Spirit that they had 10 seconds to make me believe in this item, this product, this whatever it is. They had 10 seconds to make me believe in it. Otherwise, that was it. I wasn't going to be taking the lead. I wasn't going to be buying what they tell us to buy. And before anyone says, well, actually, you shouldn't let them tell you what to do. Listen, you do you, I'll do me. I'll prove the evidence I can bring forward. You do whatever you do. You know, it's one of those things. I get loads of people who say, oh, you shouldn't let the spirit world dictate to you. Listen, the spirit world, they are there to help me. They're there to guide me. That's how now I can help other people to use crystal balls. It's not because they wanted... In fun fact, you know, it's one that when I look back through everything that I've spent working with spirit, I've always made it back in twofold. I've always made whatever I've spent, whatever I've put into spirit, I've always made it back. So I'm not at any losses at all. If anything, I've grown stronger. I know a lot more information now, and it benefits mankind, which is the main goal. But yeah, we get a lot of people who are like, oh, there's dark forces pulling the strings of mankind behind the scenes. Oh, give over. That's such a human thing to say. Rather than accepting any accountability for mankind's actions, blame somebody else. Blame an energy that you can't prove. Blame something else. Oh yeah, well, it must be demons because that person went in and done some horrific things. It must have been demons that influenced them. No, they were just somebody who was mentally insane. They were somebody who was actually had mental problems and done it. They said they heard voices. Was that spirit? No, it wasn't. It wasn't spirit at all. It was, they probably had something mental within the mind that had went wrong. Don't forget, a lot of people, right, blame spirit and they blame, and I know I get very passionate about it, right, but they are my family. I literally say it on every video. They are my family. They are my best of friends. And you should look after your family. You should look after your best of friends. So, yes, I am quite defensive, but I'm more defensive at the fact of mankind's arrogance towards energy. The fact that it's easier to point the finger at energy than accept that mankind have flaws. Mankind have individuals who are living on this earth plane who are evil. They like to be evil. That's not because of an energy behind the scenes. It's not because of the dark forces that are manipulating them. When I say that the spirit will tell me to get things and to do things, it's not in a kind of a forced way, if that makes sense. It's more like if you think of a friend who's kind of ushering you to buy something. Oh, come on, let's get that new game. Come on, get the new game and me and you will play it online. Come on, get the new thing. It'll be good. It'll be cool. It's more along them lines. It's more like a kind of tempting you to kind of do it. So anyway, back on track. Gets this crystal ball, gives them 10 seconds of me time. But I have a drink before we get into this part because it's fascinating. Even to this day, right, it still fascinates us now. It really does. Because it really opened my eyes to using crystal balls. It really opened my eyes to seeing how naive I had been throughout the entirety of my life to energies. I had literally been cut off. Like the majority of people on this earth plane, just completely cut off. Like the idea of it, but have no way of getting to it. Well, this changed everything for me. I was looking at the crystal ball, and I always remember taking a deep breath, closing my eyes, just open them gently, and I just looked into the circumference of the crystal ball, the outside of it, not into the ball. This is another misconception. A lot of people think that you look into the ball. We are going to do we've already got one on the channel, a crystal ball video of how to use them, but I think we'll do another one because we've got better equipment now, we've got better audio. We'll probably do another one at some time. But I remember looking into the crystal ball. Well, the circumference, not into it. I've just bloody said, haven't I? What a lunatic. Spirit laughing. And then within seconds, I started to just feel like this weird sensation coming over. And that was it. I was out. Seriously, out. And all I could see in my mind's eye, remember when we done that exercise earlier on, where I told you all to imagine the black ball in the white room just bouncing and bouncing, and I told you for the audio cues to listen to it. Every one of you would have had different experiences there. Well, for me, what happened, if you imagine where you kind of seen it, if you think of your mind in compartmentalize your mind into two pieces, you've got this, which is this side of the brain is where you're going through your everyday emotions, you're thinking, and your imagination is this side. It's technically not in a scientific aspect. I'm not saying that in a scientific aspect. But what I'm saying is if you as a person, this is a lot easier to kind of digest. If you split your mind in half, when you are thinking, and you are, when I was telling you earlier on about the black ball bouncing in the white room, you would have went to one part of your mind. You would have went somewhere. This is kind of where your claircognizance, the roots of it are. So that's where you have to go back, and this is where you go back to when you're using crystal balls. It becomes normal to you. You kind of effectively, right? It's Spirit are showing us like this. Your mind's like a library. You've got books everywhere. You've got names. You've got authors. You've got titles. You've got different topics all over the place in your brain. You've got many different things, and you've got things that are being stored. So what it's our job to do in those moments using claircognizance is like the bookkeeper. It's going to take you as a person to the book that you need. It's going to take you to a direct route to get the information that you need in those moments. That's going to be useful to you. When we are using claircognizance, we need to get used to where the bookkeeper is taking us to. You get what I'm saying? Because it's no good with just closing my eyes and going all over looking for information. We need to know where we are going. So the next time you do something using claircognizance, try and get a gauge of a feel and try and think, feel for it, because it's weird to explain, right? But when you're using claircognizance, you can feel it in your mind. It's in a different place you're going. It's in a completely different place. When you've discovered that, it's going to be a lot easier for you using claircognizance because you can just access it instantly. It's just like you're literally that bookkeeper and you're going straight to that book and you're just going to get the information that you need. However, coming back to my experience, I felt the shift. I felt the shift going to claircognizance. And then the next thing you know, I seen a field of what can only be described as luscious poppies. Poppies everywhere. Seriously, even now, it's like a majestical scene. Just poppy fields, and there was just it was like corn or some sort of like grassy thing coming up next to it, and it was beautiful. It was hot. I can still remember the smells. I can still feel the subtle and the warm breeze coming over us. I could hear birds. I could hear everything, and it was just like, where the bloody hell am I? This is amazing. And I was present in those moments. I was living that moment. That's something that a lot of you need to realize when you're using claircognizance. You live that moment. You feel that moment. That's why it's so real. That's why for some people it can freak you out when you start using it. Then the next minute, all I heard was doo. And then the ground in my feet was starting to tremor, starting to shake. And then next, there was just like a military convoy of tanks, of all sorts of jeeps, and just steaming straight past us. Like I was in the middle. It was like something out of a movie scene. Honestly, seriously. In tanks, and there was vehicles, there was people shouting, and they were all charging in to go to war. And they were just destroying this field of poppies. Honestly, I was just heartbroken at the fact that these poppies it went from being a tragic scene, from being a beautiful, luscious scene, what the world naturally is, to mankind coming over and destroying everything in the path, which we do. Newsflash. That's what we do. We're conquerors. We destroy. We just take what we want. That's us as a species. Next, the tanks have destroyed everything. So you can see the mud's been churned up. You can see there's no poppies. Everything's just absolutely horrendously destroyed. Then you hear, and planes are coming down over my head and shooting into the distance. I don't know what they're shooting at, but I can only imagine it was obviously a war scene. It was a battle scene. So that there is pretty bizarre. It's pretty nuts. Pretty amazing, isn't it? It was class. Then something in my mind told us that I wanted to kind of see something else. I don't know what it was, but I wanted to see something else. The next minute, right? And to this day, I can't get this image out of my mind either. It was like I was taken into, it wasn't like I was taken into the trenches. And it was, the only way to describe it, right, is like I was a time traveler. And I'm not saying I'm a time traveler, so no one, by any stretch of the imagination, think that I am claiming to be. I'm not. But the only way I can describe it is as if I had went back in time and relived somebody else's life. Because there was two people in front of me, right? and they were climbing up the trenches, they were looking over, I could hear whistles, I could hear everything. Bear in mind, I don't watch like war movies and that, you know, there's going to be a lot of you who are like, oh, well, maybe you've just, I have seen some war movies, right, but I haven't watched a lot of them is the point I'm trying to make. I haven't watched enough to be able to manifest or make this scene that I've never seen before. Like, if it was something that was kind of in comparison to something I had watched before, then I could kind of arguably say, logically, there could be a part of that I've wanted to see, so I've made it. But I've got no want or need to see it. Then the next minute you see these heads going up over the trenches and they're looking and they're terrified. You could see the fear in their eyes. You could see that pale complexions. They looked tired. They hadn't slept for weeks. And then the next minute, you know, they just look at me both at the same time as if to say, what the hell are you doing here? And it was as if I was a spirit in them times, if that makes sense. It was as if I shouldn't have been there. It was like, and it was just so strange. Even now, I get goosebumps thinking about it because I was reliving those moments, and it's crazy, it's mental, but how real it was just insane. And a lot of you are going to wonder, well, Jordan, what was the point of that? What was the point of Spirit showing you all of that? First of all, I still get goosebumps now. That there is enough for me to believe. That there, I mean, I already believed in Spirit, but that there was enough for me to believe in crystal balls, to see the clarity, the direction and purpose that these items, these divination tools can give. That there was what I needed. But also, it also showed me how mankind needed help. It showed me how cruel mankind can be to one another, what our intentions are, instincts are, more importantly. And yeah, I mean, it was magical. It was literally magical. And I only wish that each and every one of you at some point could experience the same, because it will change your world. I've had many more different experiences using these items, but that's me main ones. Anyway, in those moments, me seeing that, it was claircognizance. So there you go again. Claircognizant abilities. Remember the bookkeeper going to the specific place, or the librarian, whatever you want to call them. In those moments, my bookkeeper had went, okay, Jordan's ready to see this. Let's go straight to claircognizance. There you go, straight away. Seen it. Yeah, claircognizance is something that each and every one of you would have been using most of the time, if not all of the time. But you'll fail to accept or even acknowledge that you have this ability, because society have told you that it's wrong. Society, religion, and many other different notions of mankind have led you to believe that you shouldn't have these sorts of extrasensory abilities. Well, unfortunately, my friends, we're changing that method. We're going to be shown and revealing to mankind that, yes, you can actually have this. No, you aren't crazy. And yes, you can use it to your advantage. So stay tuned if you are wanting to use your claircognizant abilities using crystal balls. We will be doing a future video on that. Let me know down in the comment section if you have used claircognizance. I want to know the wildest, the most craziest stories that you've got. And if you did enjoy this video, remember to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, make sure that the notification bell is on. Thank you to all of the channel members. And if you enjoyed this video, check out the videos pinned at the top left and right. Until the next time, bye bye for now.